Even though you don't buy me, you don't buy some, you don't buy somebody. Even though you never, even though you want to, I'm not getting no bother. Big old wound to you, even though you didn't know, now you know. Drug abuse, battle. Don't do them lie, don't do them no lie, don't do my part. I will sing them louder. Even though you know be a drug addict, do your part to make highness for no carry them. If I really know better, they go undo you. Even though you didn't know, now you know. Drug abuse battle. Even though we don't do me, you didn't do my body. Even though you never, drug abuse battle. Even your friend says it's cool. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Even the country hard. Don't fall for it. Drug abuse battle. Even though you never, even though you want to, I barely know bother. They go on to you. Even though you didn't know, now you know. Drug abuse battle. Even though we don't do me, you didn't do my body. Even though you don't buy me, you don't buy somebody. Even though you never, even though you want to, I ain't no bother. Big old wound to you. Even though you didn't know, now you know. Drug abuse battle. Even though you didn't know, now you know. Drug abuse battle. Would also like to appreciate all our compatriots joining us from other, those joining East. Like I said, this is the 129th edition of Conversation on Xspace. We're live from the national headquarters of the NDLA, located in the Capital Territory, that's in Abuja. This is a platform where we share information, knowledge, and raise awareness about substance abuse and its devastating impact on human lives, public health. We'd also like to inform you that this platform serves as a channel for us, that's at the NDL, to provide you, to providing help to those struggling with substance abuse, especially those that indeed need treatment and support, to curb the scourge of substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking, as well as getting your feedback that we can continue to improve on what we do to support Vika, and very shortly he would be well seated so that we can take off the conversation. But before we come to that, let's update you about some of the activities of the agency, which normally comes in our news highlights segment, which should be taken by two of our beautiful ladies, that is Netta and May, this week. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good day to everyone, and thank you for joining us on this week's Xspace. My name is Netta Wedozie, and here are the NDLEA news highlights for the week. First, the headlines. Businessman undergoes surgery to expel 81 wraps of cocaine stuck in his stomach 7 days after ingesting illicit consignment. Deported from Lebanon, nabbed at MMIA. As NDLEA intercepts 2,000 kilograms skunk coming from Ghana at Lagos Beach. In a near-death experience, a 59-year-old businessman, Chijoke Nana Ibokwe, has undergone a surgery, exploratory laparotomy, to let out 57 out of 81 pellets of cocaine stuck in his stomach 7 days after ingesting the illicit substance in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Ibokwe was arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the arrival hall of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, MMIA, during the inward clearance of passengers on Ethiopian Airlines flight on Sunday, 26 January 2025. He was promptly taken for body scan, which revealed illicit drugs in his system. He was soon after taken into NDLEA custody for excretion observation. Investigation revealed that Ibokwe, who claims to be into cloth business at Arena, Oshodi area of Lagos, departed Lagos on 22nd January to Addis Ababa, where he ingested the 81 wraps of cocaine the following day, 23rd January, and boarded a flight to Beirut, Lebanon, to deliver the illicit consignments for a fee of $3,000. Upon his arrival in Beirut, he said he was refused entry because he had less than $2,000, the amount required to grant him entry. He was then deported to Addis Ababa, where he attempted excreting the illicit drugs but could not. He thereafter proceeded to Lagos on Saturday, 25th January, with the consignment in his barrel. He was, however, arrested upon his arrival at the Lagos airport by NDLEA officers on 26th January. After 5 days under excretion observation, he could only expel 24 pellets following initial medical intervention at the agency's medical facility and the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Lasut, Ikeja. With the clock ticking for him and the complication of other underlying medical conditions, the suspect was eventually admitted at the tertiary facility where he had to undergo exploratory laparotomy to extract the remaining 57 wraps of cocaine stuck in his stomach after his wife and brother endorsed the necessary consent forms on Thursday, 30th January. In all, a total of 81 pellets of the Class A drug with a gross weight of 1.943 kilograms were recovered from his stomach. Meanwhile, NDLEA operatives in Lagos on Wednesday, 29th January, intercepted a consignment of 2,000 kilograms of Ghanaian loud, a strain of cannabis produced in Ghana at Lekki Beach, where two suspects, Sunday Awoyede and Christopher Cletus, attempted loading them into a truck. The suspects, the skunk shipment and the van were immediately taken into custody. Another suspect, Lawal Idris Olansukami, was also arrested same day with 55 kilograms skunk during a raid at his base in Mushin area of Lagos. While commending the officers and men of MMIA Strategic Command for their vigilance and professionalism in handling Chijoke Ibokwe's case, Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Mara, retired, warned those involved in the illicit drug trade that they are not only destroying the lives of others, but equally putting their own lives at great risk. He equally applauded the Lagos State Strategic Command for blocking the huge consignments of skunk from coming into the country. He recognized the concerted efforts of their compatriots in all the commands across the country for intensifying the wider social advocacy lectures and sensitization activities to create a balance in drug supply and drug demand reduction efforts of the agency. That's it on arrest and seizures. Next is the update on some of the weather activities across the country for the week, brought to you by my colleague Mariam.
Thank you, Netta. My name is Mariam Musa, and here are some of the weather activities across the country for the week. Across the country, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the NDLEA commands and formations have intensified efforts to curb the menace of substance abuse through their War Against Drug Abuse, Wider Social Advocacy Sensitization Lecture in worship centers, schools, workplaces, palaces of traditional rulers, and communities to educate and sensitize all through the past week. On Monday, 27th January, The Edo State Command held water sensitization lecture for tipper drivers in Azagba community, Ikpobaha, while the Kano State Command lectured students and staff of Hajia Maria Sanusi Tata Girls Science and Technical College, Guarme, Bebeji local government area, on dangers involved in substance abuse. Same day, the Oyo State Command of NDLEA sensitized students and staff of Community Grammar School, Igona, Iwajowa local government area. Students and staff of not less than 4 schools were lectured across the nation on the need to shun drug use and embrace discipline in their various schools on Tuesday, 8 January. First, the Ebonyi State Command to students and staff of Amuro Ubom Community Secondary School, Afikpo local government area. The Lagos State Strategic Command to students and staff of Ebute Afuye Primary School, Ekpe. The Imo State Command to students and staff of Okwakuma Girls Secondary School, Owerri. And the Niger State Command to students and staff of Dendo Secondary School, Agay. On same Tuesday, the Kogi State Command paid water advocacy visit to the Ata of Igala, His Royal Highness Matopalwa Oguche at his palace in Ida, seeking collaboration with the community. The Anambra State Command continued the spread of water advocacy messages on Wednesday, 29 January, delivering an enlightenment lecture to students and teachers of Dennis Grammar School, Onitsha, just as the Sokoto State Command did same for students and staff of Federal Government College, Kebbi. Similarly, the Akwa Ibom State Command lectured students and staff of Brand Light Model School, Ata Udosong, on the consequences of substance abuse on their education and future. The Benue State Command pushed further the week's sensitization activities on Thursday, 30 January, with enlightenment lecture to students and staff of Bolomina International Primary and Secondary School, Wadata Makodi, while the Abia State Command of NDLEA wrapped it up with water enlightenment lecture to drivers at Milverton and Ochendu Park, Omahia, on same day. That's the update for this week. My name is Mariam, and I hand you over to our host, Mr. Femi Babafemi.
All right, thank you, Dan. Netta and Miriam, thanks for the updates. Now let's drive straight to the nitty-gritty, but then we still have to brush to update you or let you know about the agency's call center. That is where indeed the NDLA has counseling and rehabilitation centers in 30 of our commands across the country. But then we also realize that there are quite a lot of people in their homes that are struggling with substance abuse, and so they may not have an understanding of how to get help or where to get help, or even those that have the understanding of how to get and where to get help, they are also stuck in their homes because of the fear of being judged or because of the fear of stigmatization. This is why the leadership of the NDLA in 2023 set up a call center that works 24/7, where we have professionals like counselors, clinical psychologists, psychotherapists, and psychiatric doctors working 24/7, meaning every second, every minute, every hour, and every day of the week. In the morning, in the afternoon, and all through the night, they are available. All we need to do wherever we are in any part of the country is to call our toll-free helpline. You are not paying for the call. The bill is on us. And the number to call is 0800-1020-3040. I repeat the number again. The number to call for those who may be having issues, or their loved ones or their friends, members of their family may be having issues with substance abuse. They don't know how to go about it, or they are afraid of being judged or being stigmatized. Call our toll-free helpline. And at the other end, you have our professionals to support you, to assist you, to provide you guidance and counseling, as well as other psychosocial support services. And you definitely can rest assured that you have nothing to fear, and nobody would stigmatize you. The service is highly confidential. I also like to let us know that indeed this service is language sensitive, meaning that for those who are in the communities, rural areas, who may not be able to speak English or pidgin English, this service can also be provided to them in any of the three major Nigerian languages, that is Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo. So, meaning that nobody really has an excuse.
inside, so that when his diagnoses are right, the prognosis and every other thing will be correct. Otherwise, it will return to a guesswork. The bad or the ugly mood, to note it down. Then you are able to express what is being seen. 3E model, exploration, you dig deep to bring out the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the client sees it. And then you express, you show your client. Now this is where we are different as CBT experts. Usually one-on-one is best. I know there are people who believe in group CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy session, but it's not too effective as to one-on-one, especially when you are not handling a case of a minor. Do one-on-one because you need confidentiality, you need secrecy, and you need to be able to gain the trust of your client. Through CBT, we are able to crash an abnormal behavior. Is it just by affirmation? No. Not just by affirmation. You carry your client to where the root cause analysis is, show him. And often when we do this, we see our client cry for free. It doesn't matter their age, their demographic. But the struck within to see the status quo and what has happened so far to them, and they weep and cry freely, which is therapeutic for us, which is solution for us. And before you know it, the same guy who said, "Doctor, I can't just help it, I just must do drug, I just must take this substance and all of that, to survive, to be myself," they give it up. Why? Because we didn't do surface combing. We've been able to invade into them through CBT that is pungent and pulsating in identifying with those problems and issues. So CBT has various techniques, cognitive restructuring, where you are able to help your client identify and challenge negative thoughts that invades him, so that at the end of the day, as you crash the point of violation, where the client actually veered off from his normal person, through a model I will show you now, then you can do cognitive. So what we do in cognitive restructuring as a CBT technique, you evade and evacuate mentally and emotionally about incidences or scenarios, flashes, thoughts that have incubated in the client, and then replace them with a much more balanced, constructive one that harmonizes with his persona. And that is the critical thing in CBT we're doing, or even some rehab center, to say, hey, you want to minimize, mitigate, if we cannot eradicate the cases of relapses, then you need to bring in this CBT model so that you don't have frequent relapses. Somebody is free today, after 3 months, is back into drug, is back into this. He said, I can't just help it. So through CBT, cognitive restructuring program, or exposure therapy, and so many other, we are able to route the root cause analysis. We're able to spot the trend analysis, crash all of these things, and restore this client to his original persona, and then build what we call fundamental framework by which he will now live his life normal and build through CBT still, so that when he gets to that arena where he violates, he's already formidable on the inside. Bad behavior on the inside speaks. Bad behavior on the inside is another persona dwelling in the life of the client, seeking to rule him, make him misbehave, and do some other things he's not supposed to do. So, through CBT, we're able to target those things and ward them off, and to say, hey, here's freedom for you. And we have applied it in anxiety disorders, depressive disorder, trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder, even personality disorders across demography. And we've gotten answers. So, drug addiction, substance abuse, and all of that, CBT handles and manages it well. For the fact that it will take us through the retinue of happenings, past, present, and then the trend analysis that tells us where this individual is likely going to end. And you see, friends, nobody does drug just because he wants to do it. They say it's conditioned that aircraft fish bed, maybe because of a serious oddity or a loss or depression, a failure, and all that, and people are looking for temporary or peer pressure and the like. They go into substance abuse and all of that, or just to quell off, make them sorrow temporarily, and before you know it, they soon discover that this has taken them over and they can't do without it. And so in psychotherapy, through CBT, we're able to trace all of these things and do a 5-key thing. We trace 1, we track 2, we track it in order to tame it. Now when it becomes tameable, then we can trust it with the cooperation of our clients. In one of the therapy sessions when we are about running up, we say, now that you are aware and you now know the nitty-gritty of what is happening within you that makes you misbehave on the outside, will you agree with us for us to crash it? And wherever the attention goes, there the energy draws. So we capitalize on that in CBT, harmonizes his 4 lanes of energy together. At that point, mental energy, energy of the mind, emotional energy, that is social energy, energy of connection, physical energy, energy of the body, and then intuitional energy or spiritual energy, energy of the heart. At that point where we enjoy harmony through CBT, we say, hey, this is the time to crush it. And with willful submission of our client, we do affirmation on a very strong note and crash it. And we have always had a testimony afterwards. You hear doctor, and those free now. Inside, no more struggle. I feel peaceful now. I feel calm now. You hear all those kind of stuff. Yes, that is it. You need to go the extra mile to now build an appreciable framework to ensure this freedom is long-lasting and complete and total. So we imported psychometric analysis by which we'll be able to still see further what has happened so far before we got him booked, after he's booked now, after a week. So beyond just saying, okay, these are the precursors, these are the things to beware of, these are the things not to do, we still go inside to find out through behavioral surveillance and behavioral profiling to see what is this person needing, what is his persona all about, and build that framework so that he can cope with life not by struggling, but by willing submission to his persona he has taken possession of. So in doing that, he is in charge of his persona, finding his place and taking his space. Then we call up the evidences of his potential. Why his persona talks about his health variable, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. We call up his potential, which are the evidences of his strength, the skill, the competency, the energy, and the gift, the talents, the whatever he has built. When we match the two together, it will give us the third variable, which is his production, which is the evidence of his wealth. So that this client that was once vulnerable is now taking possession of his life because he is in position on the inside, where his personality, his health, harmonizes with his potential, his strength, so as to add up to becoming productivity, his wealth. And in so doing, he is frameworked on the inside to do firework activities on the outside without thinking of relapses or fear of subsidence, and I become vulnerable again. So through CBT, we created what we call the idea model by acronym. So what is the idea model in therapy? I stands for identification. Identify what is this case all about. What do I need to do? Who is involved? And then definition. We need to find out what exactly is happening to this persona. That is definition. Define his case. Which is good, which is bad, which is the ugly. What is the level of vulnerability? Behavioral profiling. And in so doing, it zigzag agree. all your axes together, and as you interact with your client, make sure you are putting things down and doing your analysis so that your client will see that this is not quackery but professionalism, and that is therapeutic even for your client. So the idea model is a craft subtle version of CBT, and then we use 3S equals to 1I model. What is the 3S equals 1I? Education. Education is just one leg out of the five. I'm coming to tell you the 5 legs of CBT. Education is just the beginning. And that's why motivational speaking is doing more harm in our days. In therapy, say I can do it, I can make it. Say it 50 times. By the time the individual says it 50 times, and all the emotional realities become stable, he comes back to himself and bounces back. He will still be hearing the voice of the aberrant within him. He will still be feeling the way he feels before, and his passion and all those things will begin to run riot again. So that's why through CBT, you're able to do behavioral innovation, you're able to do intervention. So solution at hand comes. And then the third S is what we call strategy required. Now, the strategy required in CBT is a bridge between situation on ground and solution at hand. At hand, not in the head. Specific solution, specific therapy in the class of CBT that is mastered down to mitigating this violation or maladaptive behavior. So by the time you have those 3 years, it gives you an intervention. So what is the 5 legs of CBT in psychotherapy? The way we do it here. The first one is called teaching or training, which is education. That's the first leg. Then the second T is called testing. In testing, what do you do as a psychotherapist using CBT? You do evaluation, whichever way you want to do it. Then what's the third T? It is called treating. That is where you do intervention. Either through the idea model, 3 years equals to 1I, or another one which I will introduce you to. There are several ways by which you intervene, depending on the demography involved. Is it a child? Is it a toddler? Is it an adolescent? Is it a young adult? Is it a mature person? Is it somebody in the working population? Is it the aged? One thing with CBT is that it gives you capacity to vary with whoever is involved, whether a toddler, an adolescent, or the aged. So the first thing is teaching or training education, so as to carry your client along. The second one is testing, which is evaluation. And the fourth one is treating, which is intervention. And as a psychometrician, forensic psychometrician, we have built in cyber resources, employed over 300 psychosocial creative intelligence work that is meeting situations, solving problems, and we are still creating more from our psychosocial laboratory here and rolling it out to institutions, people, and training far and wide across Africa where I do mental health and across the world through applied metaverse, train mental health experts in CBT, practical psychotherapy from 102 countries. So we are doing it out because you get results very fast. So the third key is treating, which is intervention. Then the fourth key is training. This is integration. So little thanks to CBT skill. So in integration, what do you do? Looking out the solutions to your client and tell him or her what to do to be able to make it personal so that he can assess the level of compliance to therapy. And in CBT, when you comply to therapy, you will not complain. And when you are complaining, it is because you are not complying. Hook, line, and sinker. So we try the result, show you the gaps, the loopholes, and vacuum, and block it, and tell you what to do to make it remain blocked on the inside to the outside. Then the fifth leg is trusting. See now, that trusting is execution. This is a pavement for continuous engagement by way of follow-up protocol. What you have made happen to you, you can also make it happen to others and do continuous engagement via it. So when this is done, you are likely going to have 95% success rate in your therapy through CBT. So what is the third lane of critical aid or of intervention? Letting you know through CBT. So we put all of these routes together, and at the end of the day, we're able to see our client needed to be carried original or some certain limitations. Yes. Use from other actions therapy to support. Where you will need the drug therapy. Yes. When we need drug therapy and all of that, we have some collaborating doctors who are, some of them have biases in psychiatric and all of that, that will work in consonance with and all of that. So where they need to be corrected through drug therapy, we also do that. I have retainership in hospitals and in some highbrow institutions, rehabs and all that, where I support them with CBT model to fast track solution or to take the degree of vulnerability of clients and to also give a guide so that instead of just keeping people for 6 months, 1 year in the name of rehab, have a quick one that help bring them back to their original status so that they can be integrated to the society. So efforts are on the way now to say, hey, our prisons, for example, you call it correctional service and center. How do we make it indeed correctional? What is the gap between, okay, pardon and then societal reintegration? Is it just to say you pardon an offender, you release him to the society to still go and do all those maladaptive tendencies or what? What are the things we have in our correctional centers? Who are the clinical psychologists there and what do they know? What do they do? How do we engage all of this so that it comes out to become productive and no longer destructive? Those are issues. How do we ensure that instead of just incriminating people for suicide ideation and suicide threats and all those whatever, we'll see how to showcase a kind of an intervention that brings them to book in order to help them regain back their lives and to be who they are meant to be. These are issues under CBT. So a huge lot is ongoing that we're even raising training and training hubs and training people across platform to say, hey, let's see your model of engagement. Let's see how you do things, and then training people from scratch to do therapy and to cooperate and collaborate with them to run this issue and to get people point blank without presumption or assumption and help people to become their best. As I gradually wind up on this to listen to our question, I want to let you know that through CBT, you can get an individual bounces back to his original persona. And then he can become the best version of himself. What do we do? In that kind of a framework arena, we help the client identify his values. It's a triangular thing, where you have value on top of the triangle, and then at the right side bottom, you have virtues, and then at the left side, you have vices. What we do through CBT is to pull up the value construct. Who are you originally? What do you stand for? If you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. So we pull up the elements of the value. What about virtues? Oh, we polish it. Virtues are like the electric current that goes in the cable, called virtues. So we polish your virtue, giving your value construct. So what do we do to your vices? We crush them forever. And through operas and classical conditioning, we rework your vices into values and virtues. So with all of this, work without. And that's why often people we have worked on, no matter the degree of vulnerability, when they come doing your own, I've gone to 5 rehabs, I come out worse. But just under 2 weeks, I bounced back. I've handled local, national, and international cases. I fly to Port Harcourt, Lagos, whatever, just to handle a boy that has been rusticated from 4 universities because of drug addiction and substance abuse. Under 2 weeks, to get them bounced back to their original status, and they are ever grateful. The parents are surprised to say, doctor, there was one I went to handle in Port Harcourt. After 1 week, the boy bounced back, started washing his clothes, greeting his dad, and doing fine and all that. The dad came to my hotel room and said, doctor, what did you do to my son? He's greeting me now. He will wash his clothes and all of that. I said, well, you flew me here to handle this boy, and we use our system and our modality to route what is happening on the inside of it. So finally, I like to say, if you have hot water inside a kettle, you don't need to see the hot water inside. Just touch the outside and feel it. The outside of the kettle will be hot. So what we do through CBT model is to identify what is inside, define it, appraise it, evaluate it, and hit the ground running with therapies. Carry our clients along. We don't just say, madam, just cooperate. No, we show him where he will cooperate through CBT. CBT doesn't hide anything. Your cognition is reset, is rebalanced. Your thoughts and feelings are in pattern. Even when you have cases of invasive thoughts, we use CBT to trace, track, trunk, kill, and trash it eventually and walk you back to your normal. Build some certain psychostructural framework within you to be able to sort up your coping mechanism, not by trying or struggling, but by entering into a state of rest and relaxation through CBT. So I don't know, maybe I'm making it or not, people are hearing me or not. I've spoken alone now for some time. So, are we hearing me?
We've heard you loud and clear, Doc.
Thank you so very much. So, I don't know if I've spoken for 30 minutes. I can go on and on and on and give you case.
We still have a lot of engagements with you, quite a lot of questions in our DM for you already.
Thank you very much.
We'd like to appreciate Dr. James Komolafe there, a forensic mental health therapist. He's been talking with us for about 40 minutes now. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Dr. Komolafe. Dr. Komolafe is the registrar and CEO of Institute of Behavioural Alignment of Nigeria. He is indeed well-grounded in this field. He has a master's degree in CBT, that's in Florida, and equally a PhD in behavioral health, that's in Hawaii and USA. Thank you once again, Dr. Komolafe, for your time and for the great insights you have shared. I've quite a lot of questions for you, but before we start reading them again, for those that may want to interrogate all of the things Dr. Komolafe had said, please, this is the time for you to request for the mic. When we approve you, please just remain muted until we call you and invite you to ask your questions or make your contributions. Well, first, let's quickly go to acknowledge some of our compatriots already who have joined from different parts of the world. Thank you. We are getting the messages. I'll be reading them again just immediately after this acknowledgement. Okay, we'd like to appreciate one of our regular on the platform, and that is Ibrahim Kuru. Thank you, Ibrahim Kuru. Ibrahim Kuru joins us from the northeast part of the country. We also like to appreciate Pastor Olubenga Ajayi. I believe that's Pastor Olubenga Ajayi. Pastor Olubenga Ajayi was once a guest on this platform. We also have one of our regulars, Funsho Jimon. Thank you, Funsho. Jamila, thank you, Jamila. City Boy Omogbalahan, thank you. Muhammad Bafo, Muhammad is also one of our regular on the platform. Mark Minsky, Mas Minsky obviously joins us from Europe. Thank you, Mark. John Diva Doji, that's my girl, Diva Doji. That's a Duchess. Shizom Ugona, again, we also have one of our commanders, and that's Michelle Ofoyeju in Lagos there. Thank you, Michelle. Anna Faith, Enthusiasm, Dr. Oluseyi Odewale. Dr. Oluseyi Odewale was also once our guest on this platform. Nama Fala 94, Toby Black, Mohammed Kabir Hamza, the Comrade, thank you. Obidike, thank you. Mayawa, thank you. Sunusi Mohammed Sunusi, thank you. Lefam Nzide, Felix Naroka, Ayuba Macha, Igbonos at Racing Guy 3. Thank you, all of you. Let's pause it at this point so that we can have some engagement with Dr. Komolafe before we run out of our time. We'll have some questions. Okay, let me quickly read. I guess I saw some messages there. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Okay, all right, that's fine. Let's quickly read some of the questions we have for Dr. Komolafe here. This is coming from Digba. Digba is appreciating Dr. Komolafe for the presentation and then asking, I would like to get a clarification from our guest speaker on how CBT, let me just put it in short, that's cognitive behavioral therapy, that's CBT in short, differ from mindfulness-based therapy in its approach and effectiveness. I would like some clarification on this. All right, please, Dr. Komolafe, I hope you got me.
Yes, our answer is straightforward and fast. Mindfulness is just a tool under CBT. Now, mindfulness is what you do to just correct a mild case, a mild maladaptive case having to do with cognitive disabilities and violation. CBT is more than mindfulness. It's just a tool. So many things are brought to the fore based on three issues in CBT, for which mindfulness will be part of it. If you discover, and what are the various issues? Let me mention three. One, the degree of vulnerability of a patient. Oh, this person cannot do without invasive thoughts, for example. Or this guy has an addiction. And whether he likes it or not, he must do better. And all of that, I've met with all kinds of cases. You say, this guy cannot just do without it. But when I use CBT, I get results. One, CBT helps me to identify the root cause analysis. So, madam, if you are doing mindfulness without doing proper diagnosis of your client, we do mindfulness, and we tell you, I still cannot help you. Now, there is a case of a deliverance case. A boy was doing drugs, the son of a pastor, and they subjected this boy to 3 days marathon fast. After the fasting, they conducted deliverance to deliver him from the power and behavioral. In fact, I have a work for the religious people out there and the whatever side of the divide that says recognize the difference between behavioral violation and demonic interference. They are not the same. So many things we pray and bind and cast are behavioral issues. That's it. If you subject the individual to behavioral analysis, it will show you the degree of vulnerability and you can help the person out. Let him use his prayer for some other things while you block the car. So mindfulness could just be a tool in CBT. It's not the same. So degree of vulnerability, you look at it. Then what is the case itself that will require an element of mindfulness? But just on the outside. So, madam, find out what is the root cause analysis, what is the trend analysis, the point block analysis, and the structural deviation, and to see where you will use mindfulness as an adjunct, as a supplement. But to just say, oh, I just use mindfulness. Yes, mindfulness will work if it is a mild case and not an acute case that has become insidious and growing inside. So let me stop at that. You understand what I mean? So it's just a tool, one of the two, but it's not the same as CBT. It has an element of mindfulness. And in mindfulness, what do? You help the individual to develop personal presence through what? APC variant. What is the APC variant? One, appreciation of his situation. Two, penetration strategy required so that he can bounce back. And then see, contribution through professional support and supplement for which mindfulness can be a part of it. So you need your APC to be able to roll out your PDP in therapy. What is your PDP? The professional development plan that you are bringing out for your client, so that at the end of the day you can arrive at LP, where his lifestyle and productivity becomes optimal. So life is actually about APC powered by PDP multiplied by LP in therapy. Thank you very much.
All right, we should thank you very much, Dr. Komolafe. Then let's quickly dash into the next question, and that is coming from Comfort. Madam Comfort is saying, okay, thank you very much, Dr. Komolafe, for the detailed presentation. You painted a smooth and easy result picture of CBT approach to treatment of mental health and addiction problems. You even cited a case in which you treated a chronic addiction in 1 or 2 weeks. My question is it all smooth with CBT? Are there no challenges in implementing CBT for individuals with severe mental illness? I would like to know this. Again, my second question is, how can family members and caregivers be involved in CBT-based interventions for mental health and substance abuse? Thank you. All right. That's from Comfort. Dr. Komolafe, please go ahead.
Yeah, let me start by answering from the second question. I roll out training, online training, from time to time. In fact, next week, I'm teaching and equipping psychotherapists, mental health clinicians, clinical psychologists, medical doctors on the role of CBT in modern psychotherapy, and giving out incentives to help psychologists, people in the mental health arena, psychotherapists, and the rest. And in fact, in some of the hospitals where I do retainership, I see all kinds of desks. I see physio, I see all kinds of desks, but you hardly find one for psyche. Why? Because there's no much exposure here in this side of the client for critical CBT. And let me tell you, sir, which you all know, 75% and over of medical cases have behavioral behavioral complement of it. And I am told to let all of you know that I am the only one in Africa running behavioral change. I do it on TV every day. Some of you must have been watching Dr. Longlife on ESTV 392. I'm the Dr. Longlife that does behavioral a check-off from the neck up to make you good neck down. And when you are good neck down, you be great leg forward. their money. See, I have this boy now. surface thing, you can say, okay, 1 or 2 therapies, or even surface counseling. But the one that is classic and for him, carry the sponsor along and the guy himself and monitor things. So that is a huge lot. The 5 sessions of therapy and it's resources. A therapy session is by the time I use 2 hours a day. Doctor, you may have 20 hours here because they enjoy it. The way we do our own, they enjoy it. And you see reality. If they are your own is
Thank you very much, sir, for guiding us throughout today's program. For more information about the NDLA, our listeners can visit our website www.ndla.gov.ng, our social media platforms.
Maybe you will say you want
Instagram,
Maybe you will say you want drama. Answer. Maybe you will say you want loud. Before science student. You will say you want loud. Before science student.